Rome was in chaos, torn apart by a civil war between Julius Caesar and Pompey the Great, once allies now bitter enemies. After Caesar's victory at Pharsalus, Pompey fled to Egypt, hoping for refuge. Egypt itself was in turmoil, ruled by the young Ptolemy III and his ambitious sister Cleopatra. Instead of sanctuary, Pompey was assassinated on the orders of Ptolemy's advisors, hoping to please Caesar. Caesar arrived in Alexandria, horrified by Pompey's murder, and soon found himself entangled in Egypt's own civil war. Cleopatra, seeking power, famously had herself smuggled to Caesar in a carpet, forging a legendary alliance. Caesar backed Cleopatra's claim to the throne, plunging his small force into a fierce conflict against Ptolemy's supporters. Besieged in Alexandria, Caesar's troops fought desperately, even as parts of the library of Alexandria burned. Reinforcements arrived just in time. Ptolemy drowned fleeing, and Cleopatra became queen with Caesar's support. Their alliance and romance would echo through history. With Egypt secured, Caesar's attention turned back to unfinished business in Rome. The civil war was far from over. Caesar prepared to face his remaining enemies. Caesar's time in Egypt gave his enemies space to regroup across the Roman world. In Asia Minor, King Pharnaces of Pontus challenged Rome, but Caesar crushed him at Zela in a lightning campaign. Veni, Vidi, Vici. The message was clear: Caesar remained unstoppable. Yet the most determined Pompeians gathered in North Africa, led by Metellus Scipio, Cato the Younger, and King Juba of Numidia. They assembled a formidable army, including war elephants threatening Caesar's authority. Caesar knew he had to act swiftly. He marched to Africa, ready for another brutal campaign. The fate of Rome would be decided on African soil. Caesar's relentless drive left his enemies little time to recover. The final battles of the Civil War loomed. Caesar prepared for the ultimate showdown. Caesar landed in Africa with limited forces, facing a larger Pompeian army and war elephants. He drilled his troops, turning adversity into advantage. At Thapsus, Caesar's tactics caused the elephants to panic, leading to a decisive victory and the destruction of the Pompeian army. Scipio and Cato chose suicide over capture. Cato's death became a symbol of lost republican ideals. Caesar returned to Rome in triumph, but resistance remained. Pompey's sons Gnaeus and Sextus rallied new forces in Spain. At Munda, Caesar faced his toughest battle. His lines nearly broke, but he personally rallied his troops. The Pompeians were finally crushed. Gnaeus was killed, though Sextus escaped. With Spain subdued, Caesar stood as Rome's undisputed master. The civil war was finally over. Rome, exhausted, hoped for peace. But Caesar's victory would have far-reaching consequences. The Republic's fate now hung in the balance. Caesar returned to Rome as a hero, celebrated with grand triumphs and public festivities. He launched sweeping reforms, revising the calendar, providing land for veterans, and curbing corruption. Granted the title dictator for life, Caesar's power alarmed many senators. Fearing he aimed to be king, a group of conspirators led by Brutus and Cassius plotted his assassination. On the Ides of March 44 BCE they struck, killing Caesar in the Senate. Instead of restoring the Republic, his death plunged Rome into renewed chaos and civil war. Ultimately, Caesar's adopted heir Octavian emerged victorious, becoming Augustus, Rome's first emperor. Caesar's life and death marked the end of the Republic and the dawn of the Roman Empire. His legacy, ambition, reform, and tragedy reshaped history. Rome and the world would never be the same. The story of Julius Caesar remains a timeless lesson in power and its perils. His shadow still looms over history,